Kirschman Corner takes it to the road. This week I had the opportunity to go over to the clubhouse and spend a little time with Marcus King, our general manager, and Bill Phillips, who is now our house committee chairman. We had a chance to look around, take a look at the place, see what they're doing, and get a sense of the direction of where we're at now and where we're going in the future and what the plan is. I hope you'll enjoy this video. In 2019, Mark Esteb was a new board member, and he drew the assignment of being the board liaison to the House Committee. At that time, Tom Gainey was the House Committee chairman, and the two of them were assigned with the idea of looking at the clubhouse and what should be considered to be done. So their range of things ranged from tearing the whole place down and rebuilding to doing nothing. By the end of 2019, the House Committee came to the conclusion that they ought to get some feedback from the members to get a sense as to what the appetite was with the club. So they did a survey to everybody who was serving on the committee at that time, from membership to House to Greens. Everybody who was on a committee received a survey. And the question was, what do you want to have done with the clubhouse? 1, complete remodel, tear down. 2, a refresh. Or 3, nothing. The result was overwhelmingly to do a refresh. So that was the track they started down as they started coming into the year 2020.
So it says the members will be provided with an outstanding clubhouse facility in keeping with the tradition of golf and a premier golf club. The facilities will be maintained for the experience of all members and their guests in a first-class condition, and will proudly showcase and display the deep tradition of our club. And I'm proud to be the chairman of the club. I'm proud of our members of the House Committee. They're really doing a good job.
You're the chairman of the committee, not the chairman of the club.
Did I say club?
He's aspirational. There's no doubt.
Did I say club?
Yeah, well, that's okay.
The project was broken up into 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 was that we were going to do new carpet, new paint, new lighting fixtures and furniture. Phase 2, we were asked to take a look at how is it that we could better serve the membership and become more compliant with the Liquor Control Board by moving the bar from the running room into the active room. So we have a 21 and older space that puts us into compliance.
Compliance is always good.
You're a compliant guy.
I try to be compliant.
The third phase is to create what we call a comprehensive improvement plan for the clubhouse. So with our designer, we're looking out 10, 15, 20 years. Well, the idea we had, along with our designer, Ben Brady, was to bring the outside in. I mean, we have a beautiful view outside of our windows, and the color scheme that we had really stopped your eye at the wall. If we look now, you can see when you look out here, what you see is our practice facility. The walls seem to disappear with this color scheme. That's what Ben had in mind, and that's what drove us actually to select Ben.
The thing I like about this committee is like how creative they are with the paint color scheme. And this is a pretty unusual color scheme, I'm thinking. I don't know, Bill, are you sure you got the right people on the job here?
That's a great question. So this is what we went through with the House Committee. It was A or B, sometimes it was A, B, C. And we had the House Committee, again, your representation to the Board of Directors. And we picked what we think is tasteful and fits into the tradition of Sahalee.
As my good Scottish friend David Feeney likes to say, he joined Sahalee for the golf, but learned to love the place because of the people he met and the relationships he developed. A lot of that took place in the clubhouse, Saturday morning breakfast before golf, back when we could come here before COVID, dinners with spouses, meeting everybody on a whole different level, and really getting to know people. For me personally, I think it allows me to get out on the course a lot more often because my wife Juliana knows all the people I play golf with and she likes them, so she encourages me to go out and play with them. I do have to say though, it did take her a while to warm up to David. It took a little while, and then after a while she said, okay, he's okay, you could play golf with David as well.
Well, we relied a lot on Marcus because of his experience in Overlake and working within the industry, knowing designers that do this type of work. So we interviewed by Zoom because of situation, 3 different designers. 2 of them were cookie cutter corporate kind of design houses that would have been fine. The third, Ben Brady, he was unique in our minds when we interviewed him. Actually, he had experience growing up here and playing golf here. So he had a feel for the history, he knew the club, he knew some of the members. So we naturally went towards him because he was really able to satisfy some of the things that the board of directors asked us to do. The clubhouse needed to stand up, and that's where I think Ben came and he said, you know what, I know how to do this. I've done bars before. What you're lacking here is a real bar. We knew that, but he really articulated that. We don't have the social interaction of a bar.
Right.
And again, we want to comply with the Liquor Control Board and separate the bar from the dining area. So Ben had that in his head, and he put it.
Well, if you're anything like me, you're probably concerned about the finances. How does this project get financed? It's not cheap. It's over $1 million if we do both phases 1 and phase 2. So people that you can talk to get a better feel for how we're doing on the finances. Dawn Ney, president, she's a CPA, knows numbers real well. Steve Mosier, he's the board liaison with the finance committee. You could talk to Dave LaRock, he's the finance committee chairman, or you can reach out to Marcus and get information about the finances. It's a big step, but we are in a good position financially that if we as a club decide we want to go that direction, we're in a position to do it.
Spring.
So we have an operating budget, covers like the day-to-day expenses, and then we have the capital budget that's funded. Where does the funding for the capital budget come from?
So funding for the operating budget is all membership dues. We just had an $80 dues increase. That was to bring us up to speed and sort of catch us up over many years of very low dues increases.
Yeah.
So we feel like we're back to even par there.
Okay.
Also dealing with the effects of COVID. So your base dues go into the operating fund. The membership initiation fees are what go into the capital fund, and that's typically in the $400,000 to $500,000 a year range is typically what we look at. Every now and then it spikes up. Sometimes it's a little soft. And then you have capital dues also, and that money goes into the same fund. So you have this pot of money that typically is used for either paying completely for a project, or like we're doing right now, we now have a 20-year capital plan. So for the next 20 years, we know what's coming at us, and we can plan the capital cash flow accordingly. So as those projects come up, we know how much money we need, and those funds that are in the bank help to offset those future expenses. So we're saving for the future as we look at that capital plan and how to execute it.
It's an exciting time right now at Sahalee. We got a lot of good things going on. We've been navigating through COVID well. The club's doing well financially this year. But something you should keep in mind is that we are a committee-driven club. Things get done in committees, bubbles up to the board, and the board makes decisions. So if you want to know what's going on in the club, join a committee. If you want to kind of get involved, join a committee. Right now, committees are forming for 2021. So get involved, get on a committee. I'd like to have a special thanks to Marcus this week for spending some time with me, and Bill Phillips, and to Mark Esteb and all the work he's done with the House Committee over the last couple of years. And I'd also like to thank, in addition to the House Committee, the Finance Committee and all the work you've done, and of course the Membership Committee, because that's my favorite committee of all. So anyway, it was a great time over there. I hope you enjoyed the video. And in case you're wondering, if the course was open today, I would have worn this sweater. Have a great week.